ಓಂ ನಮಸ್ತೆ. ಧ್ಯಾನ ತರಗತಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. ಈ ಸರಣಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಇದು 30ನೇ ತರಗತಿ. ತಮಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಪ್ಲವ ನಾಮ ಸಂವತ್ಸರದ ಹಾರ್ದಿಕ ಶುಭಾಶಯಗಳು. ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದಾಗಲಿ, ಶುಭವಾಗಲಿ. ನಾವು ಈ ಭಯ ಇದನ್ನು ದಾಟುವುದಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ಪ್ಲವ ನಮಗೆ ಸಹಾಯ ಮಾಡಲಿ ಅಂತ ಆಶಿಸೋಣ. ಯಾಕೆಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅನೇಕರನ್ನು ಕಾಡತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ನಕಾರಾತ್ಮಕವಾದಂತಹ ಭಾವ ಭಯ, ಅಭಿನಿವೇಶ. ಪತಂಜಲಿಗಳು ಹೇಳುವ ಹಾಗೆ ನಮಗೆ ಯಾವುದು ಸುಖವನ್ನು ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೋ ಅದು ಹಾಗೇ ಮುಂದುವರಿಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಇಚ್ಛೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಆದರೆ ನಾವು ಜಗತ್ತಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಗಮನಿಸ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀವಿ, ಇದು ಈ ರೀತಿ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಯಾವುದೇ ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ ಆದ್ರೂ ಅದು ಕೊನೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟವಾಗಿ ತಿಳ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ನಾವು ಗಮನಿಸ್ತಾನೆ ಇರ್ತೀವಿ ಇದನ್ನು. ಜಗತ್ತಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವುದೇ ಆಗಲಿ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಾರಂಭದ ದಿನ ಅಂದರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂತ್ಯದ ದಿನ ಅಂತಲೂ ಇದ್ದೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಡೇಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಬರ್ತ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಡೇಟ್ ಆಫ್ death also. So we know this. So how to cross this ocean of fear? Everywhere we find fear. And this plava, or one of the meaning of plava is boat, which can help you to cross this ocean of fear. And we hope this Yugadi we will make that sankalpa towards freedom from fear. One of the main problems that we face in the ending of anything is what happens next. That is not something known. The fear of the unknown. Be it be with any relationship. If some relationship it has begun means it will end, we know, whatever it is. What happens if it ends? That's the question. That's something that scares. And especially when you come to the highest degree of attachment, namely the physical body. Yes, what happens after it ends? Fear of unknown. And this fear of unknown with Abhinivesha, that tendency to cling to the continuity of whatever is going on, that would set in further ripples of fear. So we should know how to handle this. That is very, very important. We will try to explore on this fear of unknown. Sit upright Gently close your eyes. Chest and navel up. Palms should face upwards. Tip of the thumb and index finger in contact. Have complete musculoskeletal awareness. Be aware of your breathing. Now we are going to chant the sacred word Om. Just check your breathing. Breathing should be slow, steady, even. As you inhale, the abdominal cavity should expand. As you exhale, it should contract. Just as neutral as possible. And make the exhalation a little longer than the inhalation. Typically 4 seconds inhalation, 6 seconds exhalation. Most can do comfortably. You inhale and as you exhale, pronounce the word Om and get completely involved. Feel the vibrations in and through every pore of the skin as you pronounce the word Om. Voice with me. Inhale. Om. 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 Be quiet. Experience the inner calmness, quietness. in overcoming the fear, very first thing is to acknowledge the presence of fear. Simply saying I don't fear does not help. That impression of fear, we are talking of irrational fear. Please note that. Unnatural, irrational fear. First, you have to accept and acknowledge the presence of the fear. So, today we shall contemplate further on the other dimension of this fear, or Abhinivesha, the fear of the unknown. So remember what Patanjali has said about Abhinivesha. Swarasavahi vidushopi tatharudo abhiniveshaha. That love for continuity, that is one thing. Fear of discontinuity is another thing. And the hidden factor of that fear of discontinuity is what happens after discontinuity. It applies to almost all things in life. It may be different things at different stages of life, and different degree of fear. Your status, position, post, what happens after this discontinues. Similarly, relationships. What happens if this discontinues? That fear. Swarasa vahi. But here, the highest degree where this fear manifests is fear of losing this body. And the hidden dimension is what happens. That fear of unknown. That nobody knows. Because nobody has given us any authentic, which means somebody who has gone and come back with evidence. That is not available. And there are a lot of things we read about, hear about. Heaven, hell. So, our purpose in this contemplation is not to argue about that, whether heaven or hell exists. Do we have to go through that pleasure or pain associated there? That's not the purpose. The purpose is how can we decouple ourselves from this fear of unknown. For this, we should look at Bhagavad Gita. Slowly open your eyes. Please look at this shloka, chapter 8, verse 6. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajatyante kalevaram tam tamevaitti kaunteya sada tadbhava bhavitaha. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavan. Whatever you think of when Tyajatyante kalevaram, at the time of leaving the body. Simply put, at the time of death, Mmvapi smaran bhavan means whatever impressions or vasanas you have. Our bhava is nothing but the expression of our impressions. What are the impressions according to Patanjali? Avidya, smita, raga, dvesha, abhinivesha. So whatever it is that, tam tamevaitti kaunteya, you will get that itself, O Arjuna, sada tadbhava bhavitaha, which you have been thinking or you have been in that bhava. What does that mean? Even after the physical death of the body, the samskaras, the impressions will continue. It's a very, very significant shloka. Now close your eyes. Let's try to contemplate on this. This simply means the impressions do not die at the time of the physical death or losing of the body. The impressions do continue. This is very important. Samskaras do continue. If you have these negative samskaras, that burden will continue. Later what happens? Punarjanma, which suits this samskara. Well, we will not get into such things. For us, this lesson that we have to get here is the samskaras, the impressions. So if you have these impressions, if these impressions are of negativity, they do continue. So the lesson to be learned is that we should work towards handling these samskaras when we are in this body. Because we know the samskaras continue as per Bhagavad Gita. So if you can handle the samskaras properly, if you can remove these samskaras or impressions, if you can, removing this means what? Removing the samskaras, crossing these samskaras means you have freedom from all these samskaras. That is called the state of Jivan Mukta. That is when we experience the real bliss, Ananda. We are deceived from Ananda because of these samskaras. So if you can cross these samskaras, if you can diffuse and remove these samskaras, then you experience Ananda always, and that bhava is always there. So what is there? If one is out of these negative impressions, he is always in Ananda. Yam yam api smaran bhavam. Even when tyajatyante kalevaram. When leaving the body also, that Ananda only remains. So, tam tami vetti kaunteya sada tad bhava bhavitaha. So that even after the end of the physical body, that state of Ananda alone will continue. Which means you are becoming Jivan Mukta. That fear of unknown is gone. Because that experience of Ananda, that bliss in this very body, even while living in this body, if it can be got unabated, the same thing will continue. And then there is no further fear of unknown. And incidentally, such a person is also free from the cycle of birth and death. So, to sum up, what we should know is we need not bother about that fear of unknown. What happens after the end of this physical body? Instead of bothering that, we should only know that we should work towards crossing these negative impressions, especially the Abhinivesha, to experience Ananda. If you are able to experience Ananda always while in this body itself, Krishna says that state continues. You are mukta. Then you don't have to fear what next. That fear of unknown is gone. With that, the Abhinivesha is also go. So all our meditative practice should aim at cleansing the negative impressions. This is what we should remember and steadily contemplate so that we are not haunted by the fear of unknown. Patanjali says the root cause of all these things is the Adima Klesha called avidya or ignorance. We shall take up this in our next class. So this Yugadi, we should make up our sankalpa to cross this avidya and gain vidya or knowledge. God bless you all. Wish you all a very happy Yugadi. Take a deep breath. Yogena chittasya padena vacham malam sharirasya cha vaidyakena yopakarottam pravaram muninam patanjalim pranjaliranatosmi hari శ్రీకృష్ణార్పణమస్తు. శ్రీ గురు